Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So as part of today's video, we'll discuss what exactly promise is all about. So this question you will might get during the Cypress interview. The reason being, promise is also a concept which is we used in Cypress also, because as we all know that Cypress has built on top of Node JavaScript. So whatever the concept that there in JavaScript, that also you need to know. So out of that, promise is also one of the wonderful concept. So generally, promise also we can use in the fixture, that cy dot fixture. In the bracket you have to pass, you are passing the value, and after that you are writing dot then, right? So that is a example of promise that we are using in Cypress. So we'll explain what is the promise. So before understanding, we will understand a example with a real time, like real life story. So suppose there are two friends, Ram and Shyam, and Ram tells Shyam to bring a notebook from the market. So Shyam told, yes, I'll keep your promise. I'll go to the market and I will bring a notebook for you. But when, at this point of time, the promise is in pending state because the promise has not yet started for execution. Okay. So now when Shyam will go to the market, any situation will occur, right? Either shop will be closed, either or Sham forgets the wallet in home. So anything will happen. So because of that, Sham may or may not be able to bring the notebook for Ram. So now, if see, there are three states. When he started the promise that he will bring the notebook for you, for Ram, or he will be able to bring the notebook. If he will be able to bring the notebook, then the promise is fulfilled. He kept his promise. If he will not be able to bring the notebook for Ram, for his friend, that means he did not keep his promise. That means that promise got rejected because of any situation, either the shop is closed, or and because of any situation Sam will not be able to bring the book, then in that case that got rejected. So in short, whenever interview will ask what are the three state, you can see the pending, fulfilled and rejected. So these are the three state. Now we'll understand what exactly promise in JavaScript. So promise is an object in JavaScript which can be created using a promise constructor. So you have to use this promise constructor to create a promise in JavaScript. How we can create, we will understand by using an example. So the promise constructor always takes a function as an argument. Like it takes two parameter, one is resolved and rejected. You can see, you can write anything, resolved, anything you can write. This is user defined argument. So if your promise will be resolved, then that part will be handled using then callback function. So then is a callback function which will be automatically handled if the promise is resolved. But if your promise will be rejected, then that will be handled by another callback function, that is catch. Okay, and irrespective of then or catch, like if suppose in Ram and Sham, like whether Sham will be able to bring the notebook or he will not be able to bring the notebook for Ram, their friendship will not over, right? So anyway, Ram will tell, yeah, thanks for the effort. At least you gave the thanks for the effort. Their friendship will not break, right? So that is finally. So there is one more function, callback function is also there. That is finally. That also we will understand. Okay, so we understood what is promise, what are the uh, states of promise. So as you can see, it's right written over there. The then method is used to, it is method is also a function, right? So then is a callback function which is used to handle the success of a promise. It runs when the promise is resolved or fulfilled, whereas the catch block will execute in case of rejection. It runs when the promise is rejected, and the finally method runs no matter what happens to the promise, whether it's fulfilled or rejected. So with this knowledge, we'll create a simple program. Okay, we'll go to VS Code. See, as I've already told you, the promise will be can be created using a constructor that is promise, which takes two argument, resolve and reject. After that, if will create a promise. Can you please bring a notebook for me? Bring a notebook from market. Okay, so let situation. So as of now, I've kept the situation is true because whenever you when tell the promise, so the other person will think that hey, he will do it for me. So as of now, that true. Okay, so if situation, I'm making a promise, I'm making a condition. If situation is true, if everything will go well, then Shyam will brought the notebook from the market. If the situation will not permit, if the you will not be able to keep the promise, then I want to tell, hey, shop was closed, so because of that reason, I did not bring the book for you. I cannot. Okay. So this is my promise. Okay. Now, when I want to execute this promise, like I want to tell in future when the promise will execute, I will use this promise because I have kept in a variable, right? This promise. If promise will execute, I want to print promise dot then, like we used to write cypress cy dot fixture dot then here promise dot then I want to print the resolved message. What exactly the resolved message? This will print. If the promise will be rejected, I want to print the rejected message, that is shop was closed or I forgot the wallet, anything as part of reject message. So no matter what, the promise will be kept or he will not be able to keep his promise, then final block will execute. So Ram says, thanks for the trying. Like thanks for trying, at least you have given the effort. Okay. So this is example. We can run it via a terminal. Okay. So now I'll execute now node promise to, this is my file name, mm, node promise. Why it's okay? Okay, I think I have done a spelling mistake over here. Demo promise. Okay. So now I'll execute, I'll clear the terminal, node demo promise. Okay, see, first it will execute. This is the promise. Can you please bring a notebook from market? So Sham brought the notebook because at this point of time the condition is true. So the Sham brought the book. If I'll make it false, and I'll execute again, see, shop was closed. But in this both the case you have observed the final block is executed because this block will execute irrespective of the promise is kept or not. Okay, so this is a real life example that I've explained. Now we'll explain it in a program. Okay, now see here same. I'm creating a promise. This is my constant, my promise. I've created a promise and kept in a like variable a equal to b equal to 4 and where c equal to a plus b. So now if c equal to 4 then promise kept, else unable to keep the promise. Okay, now the promise kept means yes, the result is 4. If not keep the promise, that means the value is not 4, the c value is not 4. So now when I'm executing the promise, when I'm my promise, that is this my promise dot then, so I'm taking a parameter where I want to print that. So this is message will print this one, promise kept. Okay. So if my promise will execute is a resolved part, then it will be executed is the then callback function. If it will not be able to keep the promise, that means the C value will not be able to the result of C will be not 4, then this catch callback function will execute. And if irrespective of this then and catch callback function will execute or not, this final block will execute. Final block will execute. This part will execute. Okay. So now I'll just clear the terminal and I will execute node promise. Sorry, I will promise. See, promise kept, finally block will execute. Promise kept, finally will execute. Okay, because C value will be 4. Now I will change it to 3. So now the C value will be already 5. So this condition fails. This condition will fail. So that means he will not be able to keep his promise. Now the answer will be unable to keep the promise and the finally block will execute. See, unable to keep the promise and finally block will execute. So this is how promise will work. So whenever you get any question regarding this, either you can ask the interviewer to, so should I explain using an example, or else they might ask you to explain the promise, how do you handle, and what are the different argument that you have to take, and what are the callback function which we use in the promise to success or failure. They can ask either way, but if you know the whole thing, then you will be able to answer irrespective of in which way the interviewer is asking to you. Okay, and if they will ask you to explain by using an example, then also you can take a simple program like this I've explained. Then you will be able to like explain it in a better way. And right now you must have understood this then function, then callback function you have used in fixture. So you can like as of now you can go to the internet, you can practice like other example also for this promise. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you will like this video with for the about the promise. So in the next video we will like I'll come up with the next like new one more topic regarding the interview cypress question. Okay, so thank you for watching. Goodbye.